Right now, while you're watching this, over 200 cars are stranded, highways shut down, airports in chaos. And this is just the beginning of what's coming for central Canada. 35 centimeters of snow, that's nearly 14 inches, falling in less than 24 hours. The question isn't if this will affect you, it's when. Here's what we know right now, and trust me, you need to hear what happens at the 5-minute mark. This morning, thousands of Canadians woke up to a nightmare. I wasn't expecting to see all the snow, one Toronto resident said, but here's what they didn't tell you on the morning news. This isn't just another snowstorm. From southwestern Ontario to eastern Quebec, from parts of New Brunswick to the heart of Toronto, we're looking at the worst winter blast in nearly a year. Remember last February, 50 centimeters fell during 3 consecutive storms. The city's response? Called a complete failure. Now ask yourself this, are we better prepared this time? Here's the number that should terrify every driver right now. 200 collisions. That's not for the entire winter season. That's in one day. Provincial police responded to over 200 crashes in the Greater Toronto area alone, plus another 100 vehicles stuck in ditches. Think about that. Every few minutes, somewhere in Ontario, someone's car was sliding off the road, someone's commute turning into a disaster, someone's family waiting for them to come home. But the roads, that's just the first problem. Environment Canada issued the warnings at midnight, up to 35 centimeters and the same devastating amount, 10 to 15 centimeters expected. Now here's the twist nobody saw coming. Just days ago, Western Canada recorded high temperatures, record-breaking warmth, then this. Meteorologists call it weather whiplash. From one extreme to another in less than 72 hours. And if you think this is bad, wait until you hear what's predicted for the next month. I'll tell you exactly what at minute 5. But first, you need to understand what's happening right now. The Don Valley Parkway, one of Toronto's main arteries, completely shut down, both directions for hours. Thousands of commuters trapped, schools across the Toronto area closed. But here's where it gets worse. The Toronto District School Board had a system failure. Their third-party email glitched. Hundreds of families never received closure notices. Parents sending kids to schools that weren't even open. Children waiting at bus stops in blizzard conditions. For nothing. This is the reality of infrastructure under pressure. And it raises a critical question. What else is going to fail before this storm ends? The airports tell another story. Delays stacking up. Departure boards filled with red cancellations. Toronto Pearson, all hands on deck, they said. A coordinated effort to get people moving. But coordinated doesn't mean fast. Flight delays are rippling across the entire country. Vancouver passengers stranded because of Toronto snow. Calgary connections missed because of Ottawa ice. This is how one storm paralyzes a nation. And here's the shocking part. Most people don't realize every centimeter of snow cost the economy millions. Lost productivity, canceled shipments, emergency services stretched thin. We're not just talking about inconvenience anymore. Don't miss what I'm about to reveal next. Now, remember that promise I made at the beginning about what's coming for the next month? Here it is. Environment Canada's forecast is brutal. Kiss any thawing temperatures goodbye until February. That's their exact words. What does that mean for you? It means this snow isn't going anywhere. Every storm that comes will add to what's already there. Layers upon layers. Ice forming underneath, roads becoming more treacherous with each passing day. This is the definition of a long-term crisis. But there's something else you need to know. Something the officials aren't talking about yet. Last February's response was a disaster. The mayor himself admitted it, called it a complete failure of coordination. Streets went unplowed for days. Sidewalks became impassable. Emergency vehicles couldn't reach people in need, so they promised to do better. Cleanup coordination has improved, the city says. They have a plan. Plow first, then remove snow. Sounds simple, right? But here's the question nobody's asking. Where are they going to put 35 centimeters of snow from thousands of kilometers of streets? The answer at 8 minutes will surprise you. Let me tell you about what's happening right now. On the streets of Toronto, crews are working around the clock. Snowplows running 24/7, salt trucks trying to keep ahead of the accumulation. But nature doesn't care about human effort. The snow keeps falling faster than they can clear it. And here's a number That puts it all in perspective. Toronto has over 5,600 kilometers of roads to maintain. That's roughly the distance from Toronto to London, England. Imagine trying to clear that much distance while snow continues to fall. It's like trying to empty the ocean with a bucket. And that brings us to the harsh reality. Some neighborhoods will wait days. Priority goes to major routes first. Hospitals, fire stations, main arteries, your residential street, that might not see a plow until next week. This is the triage of winter storm response. Some people get help immediately. Others have to wait. The question is, which category are you in? Now let's talk about what you need to do right now. Not tomorrow, not later today, right now. Police are giving one clear message. If you can stay home, stay home. This isn't a suggestion. Remember those 200 collisions? Those 100 cars in ditches? Every single one of those drivers thought they could make it. Every single one probably had a good reason to drive. Work, appointments, emergencies. But here's the truth that nobody wants to hear. Your winter tires won't save you from black ice. Your four-wheel drive won't help you stop on a slick highway. Your experience driving in winter means nothing when visibility drops to zero. In a snow squall, the roads are a war zone right now, and every person who thinks, I'll be fine, becomes another statistic, another collision report, another family, worried sick. Here's what you need to do instead. Step 1, check on your neighbors, especially elderly residents. Power outages are starting in some areas. Heating systems fail when temperatures drop. Step 2, stock up on essentials. But do it smart. If stores near you are still open, go before dark. Conditions will only worsen overnight. Step 3, prepare for potential power loss. Charge all devices now. Have flashlights ready? Know where your emergency supplies are. Step 4, clear your storm drains. When this snow melts, and eventually it will, blocked drains mean flooding, basement damage, street pooling, more problems down the road. And step 5, this is critical. Know your shelter locations. Toronto has opened emergency warming centers. If you lose heat, if you're in danger, you need to know where to go. Don't wait until it's too late to find out. But here's what nobody's telling you about next week. This storm is just the first wave. Meteorologists are tracking another system moving in from the Arctic. Temperatures could drop to -12°C. That's -13 Fahrenheit for context. With wind chill, feeling like -35, that's dangerously cold. Frostbite in minutes cold, and combined with this snow that won't melt, we're looking at conditions that could persist for weeks. This is the new reality of Canadian winters. More extreme, less predictable, longer lasting. The question isn't whether you can handle one storm, it's whether you're prepared for what's becoming the norm. So what happens next? In our next report, we'll reveal the economic impact of this storm on Canadian businesses, the hidden costs that will affect your wallet long after the snow melts, including one shocking detail about insurance claims that could change everything. Until then, stay safe, stay warm. And remember, this storm will pass, but only if we all work together to get through it. Stay tuned.